A very good afternoon. Welcome to our today's news desk at 1 p.m. with me, Maryann Gatu.
And Elias Muchina.
Now to start us off, 7 people were killed in an early Tuesday morning road accident at Gatu Bridge in Nakuru County. The accident occurred after a van rammed into a stalled truck along the Nakuru-Nairobi highway at around 5:30.
Eyewitnesses who were among the first respondents of the scene say they retrieved the bodies of 5 adults and 2 children from the wreckage.
Napokuelekea kazini, lakini tulipata kwamba turere ilikuwa inatoka sehemu ya Saliga kielekea town, kama ilikuwa na speed ya juu sana, ili kaweza kupata wenzetu walipotoka town wakielekea Kisii. Hawakuweka kutarajia kuwa watapata kitu kama hii. Tumekuwa na msangao sana, tumestuka na wengi tumekuwa tukitetemeka tukijaribu ile njia ambaye kwamba ni njia gani tuweza kuwasaidia. Hilo ndio na mapolisi waliweza kukimbia haraka, tumeweza kuondoa hawa watu, tumeweka kwa gari ili waweze kupelekwa mochari. Ndio sasa wengine pia watakuja, tutaweza kwenda kufuata, tuweze kuangalia hospitalini pale mochari ili ndio waweze kutambulika. Alafu ndio hiyo nini maendeleo. Hiyo ni msangao sana, tumeshangaa. Lakini kwa hii barabara tunaona madereva wote kwenye mkiendeza gari, tafadhali mteremko ni kali, mjaribu kusika gari zikuwe break up ili muweze kuchunga maisha ya binadamu. Kama sasa hivi tumepoteza wapendo wengi sana, tukiwa na msangao tumeshinda chochote la kusema. Na hii ni msimu wa mvua, manake miguu hata kama iko ni mpya inaweza kuteresha. Kwa wale watu ambao tumeweza kutoa pale, watu wakubwa, watu 4 pamoja na watoto wawili. Kwa wale ni wenye nimeona, lakini si chachua vizuri namba wote, because tukiangalia hii gari sinzi vile hiko hivi ni kitu ambao unasango tazama wameisha, lakini upata kuna mwingine katikati kwa hiyo gari.
And now the county government of Nyeri has stopped payments of salaries of 59 out of 62 doctors on strike in the devolved unit, pending their dismissal for what the county terms as absconding of duty.
Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga, while issuing the doctors with an ultimatum of return to work, has also begun the process of dismissing them from service, as hospital in Nyeri run at nearly half capacity, following the disruption of services.
The government is now left with no option but to take action against the doctors on strike, and I hereby instruct the Department of County Public Service Management and the County Treasury to immediately stop salary processing and payment to the affected doctors. Number 2, thereafter we shall move to the summary dismissal of all doctors who continue to be on strike. The county issued 62 show cause letters to doctors who are still on strike, and only 3 have responded, with the rest continuing to abscond from duty. The consequence of these actions has been untold suffering and death to the residents of the county of Nyeri, with a clear inhibition to the right of health. And the challenge we have now is that a CBA was signed in 2017 between amorphous people and the union, and purportedly that they brought in the counties under that CBA.
Tangu nianze kukuja kliniki, hata kama daktari wanasemekana wanagoma Nyeri, sijakosa daktari. Na hata leo, siku ya leo nimekuja tarehe hii niko na hata nimeona clinical officer, nikaenda laboratory, nikafanya kazi zote, na sasa naelekea na ngojea nikuje wiki Thursday.
Tunakosa daktari, lakini tumetibiwa, tukapewa tukaambiwa tuende huko kwa x-ray, tukapigwa pisha, na tukipigwa pisha tukarudisha kwa daktari, halafu tukaambiwa turudi, daktari mgomo ukiisha turudi.
On to politics, Member of Parliament Otiende Amolo has issued a warning saying that Kenyan politics should not be focused on Azimio leader Raila Odinga's attempt to lead the African Union Commission. As much as he appreciates William Ruto decision to back Odinga candidacy, he thinks it is important to remember that Kenya only has one vote.
The lawmaker has warned politicians belonging to the Kenya Kwanza, saying that they do not need to transverse the country with that issue, arguing that there are other issues which can be talked about.
But it does not need to be made a political topic in Kenya, because the entire country has only one vote. You do not need to come to Tianda, go to Ugunja, go to Kisumu with that as an issue. Once it is agreed that as a country we are supporting Raila, we thank William Ruto, but let us talk about other political issues. Let us talk about the relevant and present political issues that we have. Let us talk about the health crisis. Right now, anyone who falls sick does not get treatment. Let us talk about over-taxation of Kenyans. Let us talk about the cost of living. Let us talk about the thugs who are selling soil and sand in the name of fertilizer. We will not stop talking about this matter because of the African Union issue. As a duly elected representative of Rarieda, my people have told me that we must continue demanding accountability. And we demand accountability. We demand that the cost of living must come down. We demand that taxation must cease because we overtax. And we demand that we must have a government that is accountable. And although Raila is aspiring to go to Addis Ababa, and we still have just about a whole year to that, that cannot be a reason or an excuse not to talk about the ills facing us in this country. As for those who are angling themselves to take Raila's position, we are saying Raila is going nowhere. He's just going to Addis, but he's present. Because us, as members of ODM, our leader of choice will remain Raila Amolo Odinga. And there are those who are now coming and saying, because Raila is going to Addis, all the other ODM elected leaders are remaining orphans. We are not orphans. Because we have never been and we will never be. We will still be elected by our people, and anyone in Uda or elsewhere who thinks they can come, you just come and we will overrun.
President William Ruto has announced that the government will increase incentives for investors in the manufacture industry to grow the sector to 20% of the country's GDP. Ruto spoke during the commission of a Chemtech Limited clinker plant in West Pokot,
where he said that the government will not lift duties charged on imports that can be manufactured locally. Ruto further maintained that the government does not fund to meet the demands of the striking doctors.
Local manufacturing of clinker and steel has saved the country foreign exchange to the tune of $500 million every year. And the Depke Group remits 2 billion shillings every month in form of taxes to the Republic of Kenya. There is absolutely no justification for us to import clinker when we have manufacturing capacity, when we have the raw material. There is nothing that we are going to import to make this clinker here.
We have already adopted four schools surrounding ile iko karibu na hiyo, na sisi na kushaanza feeding program. Lazima watoto wote napata hot milk kila siku.
Tuko na minerals mingi, tuna mambo mazuri. Tukiweza tu eliminate wale wakora wachache, bas hii dunia itakuwa mahali pazuri sana.
In the next 2 days, jeshi watakuwa pale Jesoko, na watakuja pale kuhakikisha kwamba hizo mashule imejengwa, na watakuja pale kuhakikisha kwamba shule zikifunguliwa next term, watoto wa kutoka hizo shule watakuwa pale. It will be a betrayal to the nation of Kenya if we continue to borrow money and risk our country defaulting when we know that we can live within our means.
Now, our dear viewer, going for a short break. We'll be back with more.
Now, welcome back. Now, the Council of Governors wants the 2017 Collective Bargaining Agreement, CBA, between the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, and the government to relook into, saying it contains components that are not only difficult to implement, but unreasonable.
According to the Council of Governors Health Committee Chairperson and Tharaka-Nithi Governor Muthomi Njuki, 95% of doctors have individual contracts with each of the 47 counties, and thus their continued stay in the street and is unwarranted. He similarly questioned why doctors are being incited to go on strike countrywide, yet their grievances vary from county to county.
CBA was signed in 2017.
Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithuka Linturi has called for the arrest of the jailing of the owner of the SBL Innovative, who was believed to have sold fake fertilizer to farmers through NCBP outlets countrywide, while setting the record straight that the government subsidized fertilizer was not fake.
However, rejoined SBL's innovative owners through his lawyers has castigated Linturi for entirely casting blame on the company, saying it was considered as a soft and underbelly in a move to cover up the cartels involved in the fake fertilizer scandal.
I've not had the advantage of seeing it before, but since it is here, I say this is a case whereby once you are caught the pants down, you must own up.
Whatever the minister was talking was not based on any fact. It was factually wrong. It was evidentially wrong. It was a political statement in parliament.
Everybody takes a stand and tries to say we are not the ones, we are not the ones. You look for the weak point. You look for a person who is a hustler. You look for a person who you think cannot defend himself. So that this public relations exercise, once it is over, everybody goes home happy, but the person who suffers most is that small person. SBL is a company that probably they think has a soft underbelly.
They should be able to unmask the other guys. And that is why, as we are live here today, we shall be live tomorrow.
Now, hundreds of the Kenyan Union of Clinical Officers have trooped and staged demonstrations today in the capital, demanding the absorption of the pre-intern officers into permanent and pensional terms.
And the National Union of Biomedical Engineers of Kenya have also joined in the strike, demanding the full implementation of the signed 2022 CBA and posting of biomedical engineers interns.
Magavana wanaajiri watu wetu kandarasi duni kama ile ya UHC. Ba hivyo tunasema kwamba tunaenda kuwaongelesha kwa sababu wakisema wanaratibisha mishahara walikuwa wapi wakati ambapo UHC waliemployiwa? Kama maafisa tabibu wanauliza tu bilioni 1 kwa miaka 4 mizima. Bilioni 1 peke yake. Bilioni 1 peke yake ambayo itahakikisha kwamba we have a stable health sector yenye itaendelea ku provide services kwa over 55 million people. Na hiyo ndio tu tunayouliza. Na wale ambaye ni UHC staff tumeishafanya mahesabu, wanahitaji bilioni 5.5 peke yake kuweko katika kandarasi za kudumu.
This is what I want to ask Madam Lynn Mengich and her commission. Just give them their rights. Let them be paid the same salary that is paid to the other on permanent and pensionable. We have laws in this country, and the Public Service Commission Act provides that you can only renew a contract once. The UHC contract was renewed by 1 year by Public Service Commission. Any further renewal is contravention of the law, is contravention of the rights and freedoms of UHC.
The signed CBA in 2022 to be implemented fully. 2. Recognition and fair treatment of biomedical engineers of Kenya and other healthcare workers. 3. Improved working conditions. 4. Internship posting to biomedical engineers. As a union, therefore, we are happy to announce to join our colleagues who have been on strike following the lapse of a 7-day notice.
Now, sorry for the small technical error. Now, as we conclude, the Council of Governors won the 2017 Collective Bargaining Agreement, CBA, between the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, and the government to relook into saying that it contains components that are not only difficult to implement, but also unreasonable.
According to the Council of Governors Health Committee Chairperson and Tarakanidi Governor Muthomi Njuki, 95% of doctors have individual contract with each of the 47 counties, and thus their continued stay in the street is unwarranted. He similarly questioned why doctors are being incited to go on strike countrywide, yet their grievances vary from county to county.
CBA was signed in 2017, and these fellas were very clever. It was signed in 2017, just before elections. I will not stand here on behalf of Council of Governors and say it was signed under duress, so I didn't say it. And some of those terms that have been put there are the ones I'm talking about.
And we acknowledge, yes, there are issues, but we can't sort them when we are raising banners in the streets. When the government has offered to release money to sort out some of these issues. Meanwhile, we continue being on the table.
Now we've come to the end of our today's news desk at 1 p.m. with me, Maryann Gatu.
And Elias Muchina.
Have a lovely afternoon ahead and a good day.